In my opinion, the reason why so many people think Clay is difficult to use is because not only do you have to onboard yourself to understand how to use Clay, you also have to onboard to all of the different integrations that Clay has to offer. So in this video, what we're going to do is I painstakingly made a copy of all of the integrations that are available in Clay, and we're going to go over all of them and my favorite uses of them. Some of them might be quick, some of them we might get into, but we're going to roll through them. This is the most important part of Clay is you just have to know what is at your fingertips, right? Because Zapier seems like it's super easy, but it's the same thing. The only difference is you go to Zapier and you say, I want to connect my HubSpot account with Google Sheets. So you know I'm typing in HubSpot and I'm typing in Google Sheets. But when you want to find people who are hiring for open roles, now they make that really easy in the Clay interface. But if you want to find people who are hiring for open roles, then that gets a little bit tougher. So we're going to go through all of them, and I'm going to give away this document so that you can see all of the integrations as of July 24th, 2024. And you can use this as kind of a reference. You could watch this video to go through and everything. So let's jump in. It's already been a minute. So with Airtable, all these are super easy. This is just you know how this is. You could upsert a record, look up a record, or create a record. If you don't know, upsert means that if the record exists, it will automatically update it, and if the record does not exist, it will automatically create it. So as opposed to just creating a record, if you want to keep updating a record, if it's the same thing, you got to be using upsert. But anyway, Anthropic, just another AI model, amazing. Apify, this is an integration that gives you access to the Apify marketplace of scrapers. That could be its own video. You should just check it out. They have amazing scrapers on the Apify marketplace. My only tip with using Apify is try to use scrapers that are supported by the Apify team so that you always are going to be able to get support. And then Apollo.io, this is super easy. It's just an integration with Apollo.io. Claygent. So Claygent is an AI that is connected to the internet that you can use on each row to be able to do custom research live about a company or a person. And so it might be obvious if you use Clay before, but that's essentially what it does if you've never used Clay before. That's the thing that if you need to find the last podcast somebody was on, or the pricing page of a website, or the name of a company that a company has sold to in their case studies, Claygent is the tool for you to be able to use right there. Braid Data, this is actually a web scraping platform as well, but not many people use it. We don't have to get into it. Built with, this is how you can find technology installed on people's websites. If you have never heard of Built with before, it's a great platform to figure out all of the users of Shopify and all of the users of Clearbit and all these different things. You have to understand though how the sausage is made. So Built with is really great when you are looking for technologies that are installed on somebody's website, because that's how they're getting their data. They're pinging the website, seeing what technologies show up when the website loads, and then they're saying, okay, they're using this software or this software or this software. So something like Shopify is very easy to find for Built with because you build your whole website on Shopify. If you're looking for platforms like QuickBooks, you might not get as many hits because people don't install QuickBooks on their website most often. You're going to have to check the job descriptions instead. And in those situations, Predict Leads is going to be better for you. But anyway, uh, Capterra. Capterra is a platform that gives reviews for software and their categories and things like that. Use this to get ratings and reviews and everything. It's brought to you by Zenrose. So they're scraping it with Zenrose. It's not actually like Capterra gave them a sanctioned integration. So just keep that in mind. This one we're going to spend a lot of time on. Clay has a lot of integrations that just help you do things for free that we could probably spend a ton of time on here. And because this video purposely is supposed to go in depth, we will do that. So scoring leads inside of Clay, this is great for if you want to create some sort of lead scoring. This is great for that. So if you wanted to create some kind of formula where if the title includes Vice or VP and the industry is software and their company description includes real estate, you want them to get a score of 100, amazing, you could do that. And then if none of those things exist, you get a 0, you could do that as well. It modulates really, really well, and you can just move things as needed. For Scrape website, this is really great for finding phone numbers, social links, emails listed on a page, the body text of a website. Really, really great. I used to use this a lot though, and now I switched to Zenrose because it's just way cheaper to just use Zenrose versus using a Clay credit to scrape the website. But if you're just getting started, it's great for getting the website content. And then the email's listed on the page. So if somebody has their email address listed on their website, Scrape website is really good for pulling those kind of things. HTTP API, just a great way to just integrate any action with Clay for free. And then we have find keywords. This is really great for finding keywords in a body of text. So I'll use this for if we were looking up job openings and we wanted to see if the position was remote. I might put in all of the job description and then look for keywords around remote hiring or something like that. Then I'll get the rows that are remote and which ones aren't, and then you could go on with your workflow from there. Extract URLs and emails from text. I often use this when I'm integrating platforms. So sometimes when we're sending data into Clay, it's sometimes difficult to get the URLs and the emails out of the text and everything. And so it's this, you could just send a big blob of text. And if you want the email address from that big blob of text or the URL from that big blob of text, it works really well. For instance, if you integrate RB2B with Clay and you're just using the free version, when you send data from RB2B in the Slack channel and you send it to Clay, it's a little bit tough to parse that data. You could just use this really quick to get the website and the LinkedIn profile and all these things. Check if URL is valid. That's just what it is. Normalize a domain. So normalizing a domain, sometimes domains will come from data sources and it'll just be growthenginex.com, or it'll be www.growthenginex.com, or it'll be https, colon / www.growthenginex.com. And so normalizing a domain will just make all the domains exactly the same. I usually use it to make sure that every www dot just turns into just a bare growthenginex.com domain, but that's just normally what I use it for. Generate email permutations. This is just if you wanted to try to guess somebody's email addresses and then use zero bounce to guess it yourself. I don't use it that often. Detect language of text, exactly what it sounds like. Identify email type and extract company domain from email. This is really great if you want to make sure that you're not emailing Yahoo email addresses, or you're not emailing Gmail, or just free free email addresses in general. This is a really great integration. It does it for free, and you can make sure you're only reaching out to business emails, or you could remove business emails, whichever one you would want. But that does it really, really well. And yeah, predicting the gender, exactly what you might think. Score words in a list. This just counts up how many times, like if words are in a list, how many times, and you give it a score and all these things. Calculate the similarity of text. This is really great when you have company names and you need to compare the two of them. I don't use it that often. I think I've used it once, but anyway, find common tags. I've never used either, so that could be interesting. HTTP API with JWT authentication. This is how you integrate ZoomInfo with Clay. Format categories based on keywords. So you can create categories based on, if marketing is in existence, you could create a marketing category. If sales is in existence, you could create a sales category. Order a list. Again, if you want to take a list of like if you use the find people integration and you've got a list of 10 LinkedIn profile outputs, you can reorder them by the titles that you want to target. So you could prioritize, CTO, and then if you don't have a CTO, you prioritize CEO, and then if you don't have a CEO, you prioritize, head engineer or whatever it might be. Normalize and deduplicate a list, kind of the same thing. Map a job title to a persona. Again, kind of the same thing as the format categories based on keywords. But again, you can format them and say, okay, if they have marketing in their role, it's a marketing persona. If they have sales in their role, it's a sales persona, all those things. Look up single row in other table, look up multiple rows in other table. This functions very much the same as just a VLOOKUP. Very, very nice. You can just use it to combine two tables together. Always make sure that the data that you're unifying the rows by is the most common data point. So oftentimes that'll be a website. So you might say, I've got a row with this website over here, and I've got another table with that website in it. You would use this kind of like a VLOOKUP to be able to combine that data together. Find sitemap URLs for a company website. This is great to just see, one, how big is their sitemap, but then two, you can use it to find their pricing or their careers page or whatever you might do. And then, further enrich on top of that. Filter list of objects. This is actually one I use quite a bit. This is great to, if you've got a long list of like company experiences from somebody's personal profile, then what you can do with this, if you want to see which ones are still current, you can use this one to filter all of them for only the current ones, and then you'd be able to figure out what do they list as their current experience. Extract values from data, kind of like find keywords. Extract field from object, similar, but it's only for objects, and I'd have to show you Clay to show you that. Categorize them based on keyword, like all these things you'd have to kind of be in Clay a little bit more, and you'd have to have a specific use case. Just to let you know, I don't ever use these things, so there you go. Find mobile number and social URLs. This is just Clay integration that combines multiple data sources. It's probably the cheapest mobile phone number provider on the platform. Clay formatters, you can normalize phone numbers, normalize company names. This also lets you, if a company name is in all caps, it'll normalize it for you and do that kind of stuff. Formatting date and time, we use all the time as well too. Write to other table, this is one that everyone should know about. Write to other table. So if you have, some integrations will give you 10 of the same, like if you're looking for salespeople at a company and you get 10 salespeople from the find people integration, right? And what you could do is you could map all those people to different columns. But if you want all of them to be in their own row, write to other table is the way that you would do it. So again, say you've got, 10 people in one integration column inside of Clay. You don't want to make them their own columns. You want to make them their own rows. Write to other table is the perfect one for that. These have been deprecated a little bit. They don't work as well anymore. I mean, find redirect page totally works, but find data from page, I think they're working on that right now. So don't worry about that too much. Clearbit is a great platform with really accurate data. One to highlight here is finding domain from company name. A lot of times when you're trying to find company data, most databases work off of the domain. So if all you have is company names, Clearbit is a great first step for you to enrich that company name into a website, and then you can use Claygent, because this is free, and then you could use Claygent to find all of the missing gaps in that. Just a really great integration for that. Close is a CRM that if you're using that CRM, a lot of these things would make sense to you. I don't actually use Coda, so I assume this is some kind of database or like Airtable platform. Companies, people, jobs data. This is a lot of this data is based off of LinkedIn data. So find contacts at company. This is how you can find, all the salespeople at a company or whatever it might be. Find active job openings, exactly like what it sounds like. Enrich person from profile. You input one LinkedIn profile and you enrich that person's LinkedIn profile. Really great. Again, enrich company. You input a domain or you input a LinkedIn company URL and you get all of the LinkedIn data back for them. Amazing. Find an enriched person from Google search. This essentially creates an automated Google search where, because if you were to search Eric Nowoslawski, founder, Growth Engine X, the first result is going to be my LinkedIn profile. So if you don't have people's LinkedIn profiles, but you have their name and their title, or you have their name and their company, this is a great way to go hunt those people down. Find employee headcount by criteria. You can use this to find all the people who recently joined the company in the last 6 months. You could find this to see how many support team members they have, tons of different things. Find employee headcount by country, exactly what it sounds like. Find recent posts by user or company. Finds LinkedIn posts from a user URL or a company URL. Find company headcount growth, exactly what it sounds like. Find company lookalikes. They built their own model to find lookalikes to companies in your table. Contact out, great data provider. Mobile numbers, personal emails. Their personal email data is very, very, very good. Customer IO, if you use Customer IO, this makes sense to you. DAP Radar, this is for crypto stuff. Datagma, again, this is another just data provider for work emails. They've got great mobile numbers, although it's expensive. It's also an alternative to find employees at companies and enrich the people in the companies and things like that. If you have your own Datagma API key, this could be more cost effective to do LinkedIn searches through Datagma than it is on the Clay platform. Just something for you to know. Dbounce is an email verification platform. DeepL, I don't use. Drop Contact, exactly what it looks like. Email data provider, find work email, all those things. Enrichly, validate emails. Find email, same thing, just in an email provider. Actually, a very good email provider, don't get me wrong. Forager, you can use to find phone numbers. GitHub, you can use this to look up details about a repo or a user from GitHub. Glassdoor, you can enrich a company with their Glassdoor reviews and their ratings and all of those different things. Google searches. This is one of my favorite things. Check out my video on Google search operators. Google has built the largest scraper in the world, and with Google search operators, you could just take advantage of it. So you could do a lot of things with Google automated Google searches that automate a lot of account research, namely finding keywords and making sure they're on websites. So, for example, if you want to look up a list of law firms and see which law firms do uh, workforce employment law or wrongful termination law, whatever it might be, you can automate Google searches to get that done. Their open jobs data is okay. It just doesn't normalize that well, just because I think when you scrape Google Jobs, sometimes it'll have full time in one position and then it'll have the job title in that same position. So it doesn't come back normalized all the time. Finding the business reviews is really great with this integration, but mostly I use the perform search over here. Finding the domain for a company name gets a little hairy. Claygen is just far better and cheaper to do that. Google Gemini, just an AI platform. Google News, exactly what it sounds like. Google Page Speed, this just pings a website to just see how fast the website loads. For SEO people, this is good. Google Scholar, this is just for looking up, scholarly articles. I never use this. Google Shopping. I like using this when we're looking at e-commerce brands to see if they have Google Shopping set up. And then we use this to name the products really well. So if you use Claygen and you say, hey, go find products from this website, it works, but it doesn't work amazingly well. Like sometimes it screws up. And so with this, you can just get very definitive shopping results from the website, and it works really well. So when we're targeting e-commerce brands and we want to name a product, we'll use Google Shopping and then use AI past the Google Shopping to get that. Google Translate, exactly what it sounds like. Hacker News, again, exactly what it sounds like. You can find posts, you can find users, whatever it might be. Harmonic is probably one of the best company data providers out there. If you have access to them, great, but most people don't have access to them. You can get the fundraising data for the company. Actually, you can do both with Clay credits. So it's really good data. It's kind of expensive, but it's very good data. HeyReach is a platform that automates your LinkedIn outreach for you, and you could add leads to your campaigns straight from Clay into HeyReach. Hit Horizons, exactly what it says, finding EMEA company firmographics. HubSpot, exactly what it sounds like. Hunter, again, an email validation platform. ICPs, same thing. Instagram, it finds the company profile. I usually just use Zenrose for this or Claygen. I don't really waste Clay credits on something like this. Instantly is a platform that automates your cold email campaigns, and you can add leads to those campaigns. This is a data provider that gives you fundraising data. This is La Growth Machine is a great like sales engagement platform. They do email, they do LinkedIn, they do calling, I think maybe, but La Growth Machine is very good. You can use Lavender to rate your emails. Lead Magic, again, validate emails, find work emails, find mobile numbers. We've done some testing with Lead Magic, and the data is really, really, really great on that one. Linear, I never really use. Lob, it's just for validating addresses. If you're trying to do direct mail campaigns, Lob is really good for that. Then you have Loxo. This is really great for recruiters. So if you're a recruiter, you can do a lot there. MadKudu, get company lead score from email. I'm pretty sure you need to have your own account for this to work though, because MadKudu does like lead scoring, but they do it based off your preferences. So I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on that. I never use this integration, but that's what it might look like. Mapbox, you can normalize the location, and then you can find distance between two locations. We've done this before. If we wanted to invite people to an event and we wanted to make sure that their LinkedIn profile location was within 50 miles, so you could use Mapbox. Honestly, you could use AI to do the same thing, though. AI knows where the locations are and how far they are. MixRank, find personal email, enrich person from email. I think it enriches them from a personal email, though. The personal email data is pretty good. Never Bounce, validate your emails. Awesome. Nimbler, again, a mobile, personal, or a work email finder. Ocean.io, great lookalike company research. Really, really, really great lookalike company research. OpenAI, this is my chosen weapon of generating text. I know everybody's like, oh, like, Claude is so much better at this, or Anthropic is so much better at this. I just don't care. I just keep using OpenAI. It's just the way that it is. Outreach, so if you use the Outreach sequencer, there's an integration for that. Owler, you can use Owler data to find company competitors, find company updates, enrich the company. This is actually using an Owler API. It's very expensive. I would rather just scrape the Owler scrape the Owler page with Zenrose, and you get a lot of the same data back. So just quick tip, People Data Labs, again, find personal emails. They also are a mobile number data provider, so that works really well for that. Phantom Buster, kind of like Appify, whole suite of scraping products that you can use. Check them out. Definitely use some of this stuff. Phantom Buster is very, very great. Pipedrive, if that's your weapon of choice for CRMs, amazing. PitchBook, again, if you like PitchBook data, you can enrich it with Zenrose, and it's really great. Predict Leads. Okay, this one we'll spend a little bit of time on. Predict Leads is really, really great. They really nail these things. I find Connections to be okay, but Find Most Recent News, Find Tech Stack, and Find Open Jobs is really, really great. So the Clay company people jobs database, a lot of that, I mean, it's a mixture of databases, but a lot of it's coming from LinkedIn data. Predict Leads, I know for a fact they're using multiple databases, but where they're really getting their data from is the career page of the website. So when you combine the Clay one with the Predict Leads one, you're getting a lot of really great coverage. For the Find Tech Stack, I think they're doing some website scraping, but they're also looking in job descriptions to see if people mention certain technologies in their job descriptions. So this one is even better. So nobody installs QuickBooks on their website, but you can use Predict Leads to see who's using QuickBooks based on past job descriptions. When they say, hey, we're hiring this accountant and you have to know how to use QuickBooks, great. Find Most Recent News. This is just a really great news API. I like it better than Google News because it just comes back structured every time. And they've got some really good categories for like finding that companies that are opening new offices, finding if the company is launching a new product, finding if new leadership came in, all this stuff. It works really, really well. Prospeo, this is our weapon of choice for finding work emails. So I use them a ton. We also use find email addresses associated with a domain for local business scraping all the time. Retention.com, great personal email finder from a LinkedIn URL. Really, really, really great. Salesforce, if you're using Salesforce or SalesLoft, all of these are at your disposal here. Scrape Magic, I don't think this exists anymore, and it's just an integration. SEMrush, if you want to get traffic analytics. But I check out some of my other YouTube videos. We just scrape SimilarWeb with Zenrose in order to do this. So I don't use the SEMrush integration that often. SendSpark, you can add a prospect to a video campaign. This is great. It'll output the link, and then you can send that to your Instantly or Smart Lead campaigns. Super great. Shopify, again, you can find the products and you can check the store status. The bet, like I don't really use this because we just use the Google Shopping one instead. Signal Hire, this is great for recruiters. Slack, we often use this so that if we're sending data into Clay and then we get it enriched and we want to be notified about it, we'll use the Slack integration for that. Smart Lead, again, our weapon of choice for our cold email campaigns. Today I checked in, and this month so far we've sent like 1.1 million cold emails with Smart Lead, and I don't know when our billing period is up. So we hammer a lot of emails out of Smart Lead. Love that platform. Snav, again, another email tool. If you use Snowflake, this is what's going on over here. Store Leads. Store Leads is a really great database for e-commerce companies. If you only need to enrich like 500 rows, use Clay credits. But if you're going to do more than that, definitely get your own API key and sign up for the platform because it's a flat fee and then it comes with unlimited data. But Store Leads has really, really great e-commerce data, not only in sourcing e-commerce companies, but then also enriching those e-commerce companies. I've never used the Stripe integration inside of Clay. Summit, I've seen some things about this and I have to check it out more. Swordfish, I'm pretty sure this is really good for recruiters and finding personal data. Tavis, again, generating videos. Twain, this writes very good sales emails from the API. A little bit expensive for us to be using it inside of Clay, but it does write very good sales emails. Typeform, again, you're using it, like if somebody fills out a Typeform, it'll just send the response to the Clay table. Yelp, this is great for finding local businesses and their reviews. Zenrose, I'm a big advocate for them. As you could tell in this video, we use them to scrape a ton of stuff. And then Zero Bounce is another email validation platform. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this overview. Hopefully I gave you a quick idea of what's available inside of Clay. And I hope this video wasn't boring for you. This just gives an overview of what we use some of these integrations for and some of my favorite things. And if you're new to Clay, hopefully it starts giving you ideas of what you can do in Clay as well. So thanks for watching.